Are you a health and safety professional or someone preparing for OHS exams like ILO-OSH, ILO-OSH, CSP or CRSP and want to master the hierarchy of controls? Welcome to Occupational Safety. Today we are diving into a crucial topic in workplace safety, the hierarchy of controls. If you have ever wondered which safety measures are the most effective, how to eliminate hazard completely, or if PP is truly enough, then you are in the right place. In this video, we will start by exploring the concept of the hierarchy of control based on standards such as ISO 45001 and ILO-OSH 2001, and then break down each level of hierarchy from elimination to PPE with practical example to illustrate each point. Building container now, it works very well today. Hello everyone, my name is Roshan Rajas. So let's dive into the 5 levels of hierarchy of controls, starting with the most effective and working our way down toward the least effective. The first one is elimination. Elimination is the process of completely removing a hazard from the workplace. This is the most effective way to control a risk because if the hazard is removed, it cannot cause harm. Elimination can be done by different ways, by redesigning the process or product or layout, and also by avoiding hazardous activities. Let's look at how we can eliminate the hazard by redesigning the process. Consider a manufacturing plant where a dangerous machine part was causing frequent injuries. By redesigning the process, they completely eliminated the need for that part, thus removing the hazard entirely. Another way to eliminate the hazard would be avoiding hazardous activities itself. Like an assembly workshop decided to stop welding steel to avoid the risk associated with welding. Instead, they began purchasing prefabricated metal components. This approach removed the welding hazard altogether. Elimination is most effective control because it removes the hazard at its source. However, it's not always feasible for all activities, but it's the best option when possible. Now let's look at the second level of hierarchy of controls, substitution. Substitution involves replacing a hazardous substance or process with a less hazardous one. This control reduces the risk associated with the hazard by making it less dangerous. For example, in a laboratory, a solvent can be replaced with non-toxic alternative. This substitution significantly reduces the health risk for the workers. Substitution reduces the risk by replacing the hazard with something less dangerous. Now let's move to the next level of hierarchy of control, engineering controls. Engineering controls involve making physical changes to the workplace to isolate people from the hazard. These controls do not rely on human behavior and are often more effective than administrative controls. For example, a company installed a ventilation system to reduce the airborne contaminants. This engineering control effectively minimizes the workers' exposure to harmful substances. There are some other methods also can be used as part of engineering control, like isolation or total enclosure. For example, enclosing a process that generates dust prevents its escape, or using an acoustic enclosure around noisy machine to reduce noise exposure. Another method is separation or segregation, placing hazards in inaccessible locations such as overhead cables which are out of reach helps maintaining safety distances. Then you can also use partial enclosure, like handling hazardous substances in a fume hood or partial enclosure ensures that airborne contaminants are extracted away from the worker. You can also use guarding and barriers. Installing guards around the moving machineries or barriers around hazardous area physically prevents access to the hazard. And then you can also use safety devices and features such as using interlock switches on movable guards ensures machinery is used safely. So this is how engineering control isolate people from the hazard without relying on workers' behavior. Now let's move to the next level of hierarchy of control, administrative controls. Administrative controls are changes to the way people work. These include policies, procedure, trainings, and supervision to reduce the risk of hazard. For example, a construction firm implementing strict safety protocols and schedule regular safety training sessions. These administrative controls significantly lower the accident rate. So in administrative control, you can also use safety signs and marking. Using safety signs, hazardous area markings, and photoluminescent signs help inform and warn workers about potential hazards. And you can also use safe system of work. These are formal procedures that define a method of working to eliminate or minimize risk. You can also reduce exposure. Limiting the time and frequency workers are exposed to hazard can reduce the risk of accident. For example, rotating engineering work on hazardous machinery, so no one spend too much time exposed to moving parts. Other administrative control method you can use is information, instruction and training. Ensuring employees are well informed and trained about hazards and preventive measures. For instance, regular training sessions and clear safety instruction can improve competence and reduce accidents. Supervision is also part of administrative control. Regularly checking and supervising workers to ensure they follow safety protocols. This can be done through periodic inspection or remote monitoring. So administrative controls improve safety by changing how people work, though they rely on adherence to rules and procedures. So the last element in the hierarchy of control is PPE, that is personal protective equipment. PPE involves wearing equipment to protect against hazards. This is considered the last resort or last line of defense because it does not eliminate or reduce the hazard itself. So there are different PPEs that can be used, such as hand gloves, safety helmet, safety shoes, earbuds, and all that. So employees can use PPE at workplace to protect themselves from exposure. While essential, it's not the most effective control since it depends on correct and consistent usage. But PPE is necessary when other controls can't fully eliminate the hazard. However, it does nothing to prevent accidents and only mitigate the effect after an incident occurs. Proper use and maintenance are critical for its effectiveness, and that's why it is called as a last resort. So this is how hierarchy of control can be used to reduce harm to workers. If you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to our channel called Vocational Safety. You can also find various occupational health and safety related videos on this channel. So do subscribe, like, share. So please mention in comment box on what topics you want us to create videos. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Building 10 and all, it worked very well today.